There's absolutely no substitute for massive action.
I know this. Successful people understand that there's a law of attraction, but it's the action behind the attraction that makes the wish come true. You gotta think it, you gotta feel it, then you gotta do it.
The law of compensation works this way. There's got to be action, attraction that gives you traction. What happens is you decide to take the action, and the universe has the belief imprinted that you're really believing a thing, so you're going to achieve a thing. And then what happens by the law of attraction, you attract it right into your very beingness and essence.
We all have fears. We all have insecurities. But if you're going to accomplish something, you've got to take action. Let me say something. If it scares you, do it for sure.
Don't disqualify yourself because of your fear. Make your visionary bigger than your fear.
You're scared, I'm scared. Heck, we're all scared. The difference between successful people and those that aren't is that successful people do it anyway.
Success is a choice, not a chance.
And whatever you choose to believe, you make real.
For example, in physical fitness, people ask me, how do you get fit? And I say, do one push-up a day. Just one. Now that sounds crazy, but you'd be surprised how one small action done consistently has a way of expanding on its own.
Just set a penny aside each day. It starts the habit. The habit is the most important thing.
And every single one of us knows people who we think might be smarter than we are, but they're not doing as well in life. And what we have found, specifically in helping people build their businesses, is it's the people who take consistent action towards their goal that achieve the most success. It's not the smartest ones, it's the ones who do what they need to do every single day.
If we could make you a little bit less smart, it'd be a lot easier for you to just take actions. When someone successful tells you what to do, just do what they tell you to do. Quit thinking about it so much.
Get out of your head and get into life. Take some action now.
Okay, so now David's got it going. I mean, everything seems to be going his way because he's following through. But how did he get that bike so much faster? He did something. It's very important, and a lot of people miss this key ingredient towards wealth building. See, a lot of people leave their job and they go over to start their own business. They want to become an entrepreneur, and they become their own boss. The only problem with that is you still got a boss. Whether it's someone else or it's you, you're still working for somebody. What Dave did was smart. He leveraged himself so he could do twice as much, twice as fast, and have twice the results. It's all about duplication.
We only have 24 hours in a day. When we can duplicate ourselves, we can accomplish so many more things with the same amount of time.
The power of duplication is you get to get out of the way. Wouldn't you like to have all the income, but you're not part of the picture? You still get paid for doing the things you did because you helped other people become empowered.
We didn't want a mega best-selling book. We wanted a mega best-selling book series. Jack and I got together, figured out what we were doing as a system, which means save yourself time, energy, and money. Then we did the system so well, we had other co-authors to help do books. Now we've got 147 books, and we're en route to 220 books very quickly.
I was about to give a speech somewhere, and they asked me to talk about my income. And as I was preparing for it, I realized I do not have one single source of income where I'm the only person who makes money. One of the best things you can do to create flow into your life and create wealth is to partner with other people. Then you make money, they make money.
And once we started selling, we sold a few to get the momentum going. We sold them from seminars, so we multiplied ourselves instead of 1-on-1, 1-on-10, 1-on-200, 1-on-2,000, 1-on-20,000. And then we got other authors to do that. Then we got to do it on media, and we got to do it in a multiplicity of different ways. So we've now duplicated ourselves, so there's 144 million books.
Wealthy people understand the power of duplication. It's working smarter, not harder.
2 years go by. And Channel 10, remember they came out and did a segment on him, the most outstanding kid who turned his life around? He still had those same positions he started years earlier, and he still had the young people working those positions. You know what the best part is? No matter what Dave was doing, he was still getting paid by their efforts, and that's called residual.
Residual income to me is like planting a seed once, but eating the fruit for the rest of your life.
Why do you want residual income? Because think about it for a second. Wouldn't you like to do something one time and do it right so you get paid for the rest of your life? Most people go through life doing what they have to do just to make that check every week. That's not what it's about. You want to get multiple streams of residual income, so you have the choice.
Kind of interesting, one day I woke up to realize that I was living in a welfare mindset. What's a welfare mindset? Paycheck to paycheck to paycheck. Even though I own my own company, I was president of my own company, I'm like going, you know, I've got to keep doing what I'm doing or I don't get paid.
I said that I was going to save 10% of everything that I made, and with every job, I was going to buy myself a really cool present. And then as time goes on, my savings is growing, that 10%. I then took that and invested it and continued to buy myself presents. And now I've got money that goes into savings, goes into my investments, it starts coming back around, and I get really cool presents.
You need to have passive income so that you can have freedom to do whatever it is that you love passionately.
Simply put, residual income is doing something once and then getting paid for it over and over again.
And then I realized that there was another way to live life, and that was the wealth mindset. What's the difference? It's called residual income and leverage of time, energy, effort, people, and money.
And what happens is it'll go out as wave propagation and it'll come back to you as sustainable, perpetual, residual income, which is the best kind of income there is.
And the final puzzle piece in this vault of wealth comes down to this final principle. I love this. You see, Dave understood something. Sure, he wanted that bike, he wanted that goal, but he surrounded himself with other people and helped them. You see, the other young men and women in the neighborhood, they were mowing the lawns for the $5, and they were working for their goal, their bicycles, their dreams. So at the end of the day, it comes down to this. To get what you want, help others get what they want first.
Greg, that was beautiful. That's what it's all about. Could you give us an example of that in real life?
Yes, actually, let me tell you a little story about someone that I surround myself with. His name was Jack. He's one of my greatest mentors I've ever had in my life. And I'm sure you know him. Do you know Jack? If you don't, then you don't know Jack.
I'm Jack.
You see, like a lot of leaders, I started my own business and I was having a tough time. And across the hall, I shared this business park with these people I called the grumpy old men.
I wasn't that grumpy.
But the leader of this group, he was a special man. I love this guy. And I figured he really was important because he did something that was incredible. He was president of something called
the Distinguished Flying Cross Society.
That's right. If you ever flew a mission in the war and you did some heroic deed, you got this award of honor. An honor it truly was. And the person who held it all together, his name was Jack. And one day I went across the hall, I said, Jack, I got a question for you. I'm having a tough time in business and I want to see if you could help me. And he looks at me and says, yeah, young man, come back tomorrow at 1 o'clock. I'm going to take you out to lunch and I'm going to teach you how to become a self-made multimillionaire. I go, what? And he goes, come back tomorrow, I'll explain. Fine. I started leaving. You know me. I come back 2 minutes later, I go, Jack, I got to know, what were you, president? He goes, technically, yeah, you could call me president, CEO. But again, people just call me Jack. So we took something that was a small little idea and grew it into something very large. When you come back tomorrow, I'm going to show you how you could do it too. I said, thanks, Jack. I'm really looking forward to it and I appreciate it. So I left the building. I come back 15 minutes later. I go, Jack, I got to know. What were you president? What were you CEO? He was down on the ground fumbling through some papers and he looks up at me and goes,
have you ever heard of Velcro?
I'm like, wow, I really want to learn from this guy. The next day we go to lunch. But here's the true key element towards a life of sustained abundance. And I said, what is that? He looks at me and he said,
mentoring your way to millions.
He said, remember that old saying that says, treat people the way that you want to be treated? I go, yeah. He goes, that's a lie.
Treat people the way they want to be treated.
Treat people the way that they want to be treated. Because everyone's got different goals. Everyone's got different dreams. But if you can help them achieve what they are, you can have anything you want in return. So, wow, that makes a lot of sense to me. So I'm going to go back and implement it today. Every day I'd come into the office, there'd be a line of people waiting to get in. Do you know why? They weren't working for me any longer. They were working for their goal, their dream. And what do you know? Sales doubled, then they tripled, and I ended up getting everything that I wanted in return. So the key element to true wealth, to get what you want, help others get what they want first.
So now you've worked the principles, you've earned the wealth, and you're sitting pretty. Let me ask you a question. What are you going to do with all of it? The whole philosophy of pass it on is to share it from one generation to the next. Sure, you could leave a bunch of money behind, but there's something much more important. One word, legacy. I guarantee you that right now in your head you have an idea for a poem, a song, a book, a play, a movie, even the next great invention. And here's the question. What are you doing with it? Could you imagine unlocking the vault containing all the great leaders who've had great ideas, people like Edison and Alexander Graham Bell and Ford and Jonas Salk? Now, what you're about to explore right now is the exact same sequence of events that they followed to take their idea from their head to the marketplace. Get ready. Here comes the Vault of Inspiration.